SC Greenlights Trump's plan to dismantle Education Department, lay off 1,400 employees. The U.S. Supreme Court on Monday cleared the way for President Donald Trump to move ahead with plans to lay off nearly 1,400 employees from the Department of Education, a move seen as the first step in his broader campaign promise to dismantle the agency. The court, in a 6-3 decision with the liberal justices dissenting, paused a preliminary injunction issued by U.S. District Judge Myong Chown in Boston. That injunction had blocked the layoffs and criticized the administration's plan, warning it would likely cripple the department. The First Circuit Court of Appeals had earlier refused to lift the order. With the High Court's intervention, the Trump administration is now free to resume its restructuring efforts, which include redistributing key federal education functions to individual states. Trump, celebrating the decision on his social media platform late Monday, wrote, "The Supreme Court has handed a major victory to parents and students across the country." He added that the ruling allows his administration to begin the very important process of returning many Education Department responsibilities back to the states. The Education Department overhaul has been one of Trump's most controversial policy goals, drawing sharp criticism from education advocates and political opponents who say it could hurt vulnerable students and weaken national education standards. However, Trump has framed it as a decentralization initiative aimed at empowering states and reducing federal overreach. Monday's ruling signals a major win for the administration as it pushes forward on broader structural reforms in its second term. The U.S. Supreme Court's decision to allow President Donald Trump's administration to proceed with the layoff of nearly 1,400 Education Department employees has ignited sharp reactions from both sides of the political aisle. The court did not provide a written explanation for its ruling, consistent with its handling of emergency appeals. However, the liberal justices issued a strongly worded dissent. Justice Sonia Sotomayor, joined by Justices Ketanji Brown Jackson and Elena Kagan, condemned the majority's decision, accusing the court of enabling executive overreach. When the executive publicly announces its intent to break the law, and then executes on that promise, it is the judiciary's duty to check that lawlessness, not expedite it, Sotomayor wrote. Despite the legal and political uproar, Education Secretary Linda McMahon welcomed the ruling, framing it as a reaffirmation of executive authority. Today, the Supreme Court again confirmed the obvious: the President of the United States, as the head of the executive branch, has the ultimate authority to make decisions about staffing levels, administrative organization, and day-to-day operations of federal agencies, McMahon said in a statement. She added it was a shame that it took intervention from the nation's highest court to let the plan move forward. But opponents of the layoffs vowed to keep fighting. Skye Perryman, president and CEO of Democracy Forward, which represents Massachusetts municipalities and education groups challenging the plan, criticized the court's decision. Without explaining to the American people its reasoning, a majority of justices have dealt a devastating blow to this nation's promise of public education for all children, she said, noting that no court has yet ruled on the legality of Trump's broader dismantling of the department. Swipe left for next video. The decision is the latest in a string of Supreme Court rulings favoring Trump's push to shrink the federal government. With inputs from AP Latest blogs.